The secretary was fired in front of the entire lobby for one reason: she refused to let an old, poorly dressed man be humiliated. She had no idea that the stranger she defended was the very man who owned the company, and within hours, the decision to fire her would expose a truth that would shake the entire corporation. Before we begin, if you believe kindness still matters, that everyone deserves a second chance, and that a small act of compassion can change a life, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to life. Emily Carter had worked as a secretary at Sterling Heights Corporation for nearly 6 years. She wasn't the kind of employee who attracted attention. She arrived early, stayed late, remembered everyone's birthdays, and quietly helped co-workers when they were struggling. Her salary wasn't impressive, but it paid the rent on the small apartment she shared with her elderly mother. Emily had learned long ago that life could become difficult without warning, which was why she never judged people by their clothes, their jobs, or the size of their bank accounts. One rainy Monday morning, an elderly man entered the company's luxurious headquarters wearing a faded brown coat and carrying a worn leather bag. His shoes were soaked, and drops of rain clung to his gray hair. He approached the reception desk and explained that he had an appointment with someone from the executive office. The receptionist looked him over and immediately became suspicious. She asked whether he had identification, but before the man could answer, Daniel Brooks, the company's arrogant operations manager, walked into the lobby. Daniel had always believed appearances were everything. When he saw the old man standing near the reception desk, his expression hardened. He accused the stranger of wandering into a restricted building and ordered security to remove him. The elderly man tried to explain that he had every right to be there, but his quiet voice disappeared beneath Daniel's anger. Several employees watched from a distance, pretending not to notice. Emily couldn't stand it. She stepped away from her desk and calmly told Daniel that the man had said he had an appointment and deserved to be treated with respect until someone verified his identity. Daniel turned toward her in disbelief. He reminded her that she was only a secretary and had no authority to challenge a manager. Emily knew she was risking her job, but she also knew that humiliating an innocent elderly man simply because he looked poor was wrong. Daniel ordered Emily to return to her desk. Instead, she stood beside the old man and asked security to wait while she contacted the executive office. Her hands were trembling because she understood exactly what might happen next. Daniel's face turned red with anger. He told her that her behavior was unacceptable and that the company had no place for employees who refused to follow instructions. In front of everyone, he fired her on the spot. Emily felt as if the floor had disappeared beneath her. 6 years of hard work were erased in less than a minute. She gathered her belongings while employees stared silently. The old man looked at her with sadness, but Emily forced a small smile and told him that she didn't regret standing up for what was right. She walked toward the doors with tears burning behind her eyes, terrified of how she would tell her mother that she had lost her job. Then the elevator doors opened. The company's chief executive stepped into the lobby, followed by 2 senior directors. Everyone immediately straightened. But what happened next left the entire room frozen. The old man Emily had defended walked directly toward the CEO, and the CEO respectfully stepped aside and greeted him as Mr. Sterling. The truth was finally revealed. The elderly stranger wasn't a confused visitor. He was Edward Sterling, the founder and majority owner of Sterling Heights Corporation. He had deliberately arrived without an escort and without announcing his identity because he wanted to see how employees treated ordinary people when they believed nobody important was watching. Edward had witnessed everything. He had seen Daniel's arrogance. He had seen the security guards hesitate. Most importantly, he had seen Emily risk her career to protect someone she believed couldn't help her in return. Edward immediately asked why Emily had been fired. When Daniel tried to defend himself, Edward stopped him. He explained that leadership wasn't about intimidating people or protecting a company's image. It was about protecting human dignity. He then announced that Daniel was suspended pending investigation and that Emily's termination was officially cancelled. But Edward didn't stop there. He offered Emily a new position as executive assistant to the owner himself, with a significant salary increase and full authority to speak up whenever she believed something was wrong. Emily was overwhelmed. She explained that she hadn't defended him because she expected a reward. She had simply believed that an elderly man deserved respect. Edward smiled and told her that was precisely why she deserved the opportunity. Months passed, and Emily became one of the most trusted people in the company. She helped establish a new employee assistance program, improved treatment for low-level workers, and created a policy requiring every visitor to be treated with dignity regardless of appearance. Her story spread throughout the company, changing the culture from the inside out. One evening, Edward found Emily standing alone near the same lobby where she had once been fired. He thanked her again, but Emily said she had only done what anyone should have done. Edward quietly replied that the world would be a much better place if more people believed exactly that. Emily looked at the lobby and remembered how hopeless she had felt that rainy morning. Losing her job had seemed like the end of everything. Instead, it had become the beginning of a life she never imagined. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all: sometimes doing the right thing costs us something before it gives us something back. Kindness may not always bring an immediate reward, but it leaves a mark on people, and sometimes, when we least expect it, that mark can change our entire future. If this story touched your heart, please don't just watch and scroll away. Like the video, share it with someone who believes kindness still matters, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness so we can continue sharing stories that remind us there is still goodness in the world. Before we end, I have one special request. Comment, "Kindness always wins," below if you believe we should never judge someone by their appearance and that doing the right thing is always worth it. Because you never know who is standing in front of you, and you never know when one